Okay. So is the VM started? Okay, it is starting. Okay. So now just we'll go for the whatever the things we discussed in the last weekend, like the hierarchy, the physical hierarchy and the logical hierarchy. So now I want to create the table. So where this table will be stored, guys? Physically, where it will be stored physically?
Extend. No, sorry. Page
Page. Okay. So page and the page where the page will be there
inside the extend.
inside the extents and where the extents will be there.
Inside
Hmm.
data file.
Data files. Okay. And where the data files will be there.
Primary file groups.
Yes, file groups by default primary, but file groups. Okay, where these file groups will be there.
Under the database.
So if you go for the physical hierarchy, how the table will be stored physically? Okay, physical hierarchy of the table. Okay, first instance. Inside the instance means one SQL Server software. One instance means one SQL Server software. Okay, so one SQL Server software copy is called one instance. Inside the instance, we will have the databases. Inside the databases, if you go, we'll have file groups and log files. Okay, file groups and log file. If you go inside the file group, you will have data files. If you go inside the data file, you will have extents. If you go inside the extents, you will have pages. So at the end of the day, the table will be stored on a page. Okay. So whenever you are creating a table, SQL Server will allocate what? What it will allocate?
Pages.
Page from dash extent.
No, no extent.
Page from dash extent. How many types of extents are there?
Two types.
Two types of extents. Okay, mixed extent and uniform extent. So whenever you are creating a table for the first time, it will allocate a page from
Mixed
dash extent. Why mixed
mixed
extent?
extent.
Why?
Because it doesn't know how the file growth is.
Hmm.
So initially it will
Correct. Okay, because we don't know the table, how the table will grow, whether it is a small table or big table. Initially itself, if they are allocating, if SQL Server is allocating a uniform extent, we are going to waste almost 64 KB if the table is not growing, right? Extent is nothing but collection of 8 data pages. Each data page size is 8 KB. So 8 into 8, 64 KB is the extent size. So if it is allocating a uniform extent initially, the same example, if we if you are not preparing well and if you don't know the answers, still in the examination they'll give you the booklet. We are going to waste the booklet, right? If we are not reading well, of course we are going to fill something. Okay, but in case if you are not able to fill that also, you are going to waste the whole booklet itself. So SQL Server will identify this and initial allocation will be a page from the mixed extent and the subsequent allocations will be okay the uniform extents, guys, pages from the uniform extents. So whenever you are creating a table, physically this is how the table will be stored, guys. Physically this is how the table will be stored. Okay, this is a physical hierarchy. Instance, inside the instance databases, inside that file groups and log files, inside that file groups, okay? Inside that file groups we'll have, let me add here, let me remove this log file, otherwise people will think it's from log file. Inside the file groups we'll have data files. Inside the data files we'll have extents. Inside the extents we'll have pages and the table will be created okay on the top of the page. If that page is not sufficient, again go for the same example that okay the examination that we will write. So if one additional is not sufficient, again we'll ask extra additional. We are going to take extra paper. So until you are going to fill something, they are going to allocate some additionals to you. In the same way, if your table is growing, SQL Server will allocate 8 KB page, 8 KB page, 8 KB page. So like that, the subsequent allocations will be managed by the SQL Server, guys. This is the physical hierarchy. And logically, how the table will be stored? How the table will be stored logically?
In form of rows and
Hmm.
columns.
So very simple. So databases, inside the databases, you'll have schemas. Okay, schemas. Inside the schemas, we'll have tables. This is the logical structure.
Tables.
Okay, schema means what? What is meant by schema, guys?
DBO, database object.
Schema is the logical container. Okay, logical schema is not a database. It's just a group of objects. Okay, we can say a logical container. Okay, it's just a logical container. Logically, for example, in one database, imagine we are trying to store all the tables, guys. Okay, imagine in one database we are trying to store. Otherwise, go for the HR department. In HR, how many sectors will be there, guys? Generally in HR department, how many sectors will be there in the HR? Salary is different nowadays, right? Nowadays, one HR will not take care of everything. So for salary processing, one HR will be there. For onboarding processing, one HR will be there. Right? For document verification, one HR will be there. For exit policies, one HR will be there. So it depends upon their roles and responsibilities, they are going to take care of it. So imagine in the HR database, if they want to store the tables, if they want to manage the data, so they are going to create the schema as per their role. Okay, salary, one schema. All the salary related tables will be stored under salary schema. Onboarding, one schema. All the onboarding related tables will be stored under onboarding schema. Exit policy, one schema. Okay, all the exit related tables will be stored in that particular schema. So schema is nothing but a logical grouping, guys. A logical grouping is called a logical container. We can say logical grouping or container. So we can say schema. So logically, this is how the table will be stored, and physically, as I said, that is how the table will be stored, guys. This is the logical and physical hierarchy of the table. So whenever we are creating a table, we need a schema. Without schema, we cannot create the table. But we don't need to create the schema. Okay. By default, SQL Server itself will allocate. Okay. By default, SQL Server will allocate DBO schema. Okay. DBO schema to all the objects. If you don't want DBO, create your own schema and create the table on that particular schema. Are you getting the point, guys? That's why when you see table names, you can see the table names will start with the DBO dot, DBO dot employee, DBO dot HR, DBO dot salaries, DBO dot orders. So every table, if you don't mention any schema name, okay, particularly what will happen? It will take into a DBO schema. So DBO is the default schema. Under this DBO schema, the tables that you are creating will be stored. In case if you don't like to continue with the DBO schema, you can either go with your custom schema. So schema, how to create a schema? Okay, schema, create schema, schema name you can give just three words, create schema, schema name. So if you give that create schema, schema name, okay, the schema will be created, and you can create the tables on the particular schema by just adding on schema, create table, table name. You will give the columns and the data types, and then on schema, if you mention, automatically these tables will be created on that particular schema, guys. Okay, let me connect to the server.
So first we will create database, then we will create schema. Is
Uh,
this the right
Yeah,
practice?
yes, yes. See, generally developers will do these things, but they might ask in some organizations or in some projects, okay, they might not have enough permissions to do these things, so they will take the help of the DBA. So we don't need to create manually like that. They are going to give the script to create the database or database objects like schemas, tables, and all. You can just go through that script once and you can just execute that script automatically because see, creating table is not a small thing. If we want to create a normal table, yes, we can do that. But in the organization, very big tables has to be created, and based on their business logics, they are going to create the tables with the particular columns and the data types. So that is the reason we are not going to decide for this column what data type we need, for this column what data type we need. So generally developers only will create these objects. If they don't have permissions to do that, they will raise a request and then they will ask us to create. If they are asking us to create, you can directly ask them, please provide the script. So they are going to provide, mostly they will provide you the script. In case if they are not providing the script and all, you can directly ask them, please provide the script so that we can proceed accordingly. Okay, so once they give the script, you can blindly execute the script. So you don't need to take the decision what will be the database name, what will be the table name, how many columns we need, what are the data types we need. Okay, you are not going to take any decision. They are going to take the decision, they are going to design it, you have to implement it. Yeah, so I'm going to connect to the SSMS. I hope everyone installed SSMS, right? SQL Server with SSMS. Still anyone is pending, guys? Still anyone is pending, except these new students. Okay, still if you didn't start the practice, no one can save you. That is for sure. Okay. Right, I'm opening SSMS. Let me connect to the SQL Server. How to check my SQL services are up and running or not? How to check, guys, whether SQL Server is up and running or not? Where to check?
SQL Server manager
Services.
configuration,
Services
services dot
database.
configuration. Manager configuration, and there we can see.
Or you can check from command SSMS, or you can check from command line also.
Okay. From command line, how to check whether services are up and running or not? Command line we can start and stop. Okay. But how to check whether services are up and running or not?
From PowerShell, we can validate the service status.
Okay, command prompt commands will be there, not required generally. If you go to the services.ms is enough, but still if you want to see, command prompt commands will be there. Using that command prompt commands, you can see the status of the services. So now what we can do is, I guess in the last class, did we created the database, guys? Or we are yet to create the database also? I remember that we have created the database.
We created only one.
Okay.
So normally we use a command prompt to see whether, because mostly we have been checking from
No,
the
no, no, we
SQL.
don't use any command prompt. Generally, we don't use command prompt unless and until if the other applications are not working properly, then only we'll use command prompt. Just for the knowledge purpose, okay? We don't use command prompt in the organization generally. If everything is looks good like GUI only will be used, okay? It's taking time. Right, okay. So what is meant by database, guys? When you create the database, how many files will be created? By default, two files. Okay.
Yeah.
Two files.
What are
Data
those
file
two
of
files?
MDF and LDF.
MDF and NDF.
MDF and LDF.
LDF.
LDF. So MDF is the data file, LDF is the log
Log file.
file,
Log
guys.
file.
Okay. So
transition file.
whenever any transaction is coming, first it will go to which file?
Log
Log
file.
file.
Log file. Okay. First the entry point of the database is log file. Okay. First it will goes to log file only. Then only it will from there based on the commit and uncommit. Okay. It will go to the data file. Once it just moved to the data file, it will be dash.
Truncated from the log
Truncated, yeah,
file.
truncated from the log file. Truncated means it will be cleared from the log file. Okay, once it was moved to the data file permanently.
Okay.
Data file means disk. Disk means permanently written to the disk. So until and unless if someone is going to delete the record manually, it won't be wiped off. But whereas in the log file, once the data is moved to the data file, whatever transaction is there in the log file, it will be truncated, it will be deleted, guys. Okay, it will be deleted. This is how the data file and log file will be managed internally. Okay. So now we got this error. How to troubleshoot this error? While connecting to the SQL server, we got this error.
Can you try
The
retry to connect it? Can you retry to connect it? Just give a
retry.
yeah, retry.
Where is the
Yeah,
retry option?
just connect once again. Click on connect button.
Okay. Okay, once again I'll click on connect button. Okay, good. So if you got that error
Was the
also,
error saying?
we can try reconnecting again, right? Hmm.
No.
What is that
Then
error
we
is
have to
saying?
So
We have to read the error.
Hmm.
What
What
was the error saying? If it is,
what
we have to check if service is running or not.
very good. What are the three main qualities a DBA should have?
Patience.
Second one. Third
Patience.
one.
Patience.
Read this error now. Read this error. What are the possible ways when we will get this error? In what scenarios we'll get this error? Read the error now.
SQL server is not started. Go to the configuration manager and see.
First read the error, what it is saying. A network related or instance specific error occurred while establishing a connection to SQL Server. The server was not found or was not accessible. It is saying the server was not found. Not found means when you will get this error. Not found means
when server is
if you
shut
give the
down.
wrong
Server is
name.
incorrect.
If you give you the wrong name, the server was not found. If you give the wrong name, then also the server was not found or not accessible. If the SQL server is in stopped state, then it will not be accessible. See, they are giving the suggestions. Verify that the instance name is correct and that SQL server is configured to allow remote connections. Okay, these are all the remote connections and all. So when we will get this error, in three scenarios we'll get this error. Remember, in the interviews they will ask SQL server, like user is trying to connect to the SQL server but is not able to connect, it is throwing the error. So what are the possible ways? What are the options why we are getting the error? So interview definitely they will ask these kind of questions. Okay, in what and all scenarios will get this error? Okay, first scenario, if SQL server is not running, if SQL server is down, then we will get this error. This is the first scenario. Second scenario, if you give the
Hostname
wrong
is
server
wrong.
name, correct. If you give the wrong server name, then also you'll get the same error. Third scenario, if the server is not enabled for the remote connections, okay, a remote connection, slowly you'll get to know what is meant by remote connections and all. Like in case if TCP/IP is also not running, okay, remote connections, the responsible protocol is TCP/IP. If TCP/IP is not running or if the server is not enabled for the remote connections, in that scenario also you'll get this error, guys. This error. So in these three scenarios you'll get this error. And one more error will be there. That is different error. You don't see this error. Login failure error. Okay, login failure error. So in case if you are not login to the SQL server with a proper username and password, then also you will get the error while connecting to the SQL server. These four scenarios you have to explain. These are the four common scenarios that we will get the errors while connecting to the SQL server. First one, instance name is not correct. Incorrect instance name. First one. Second one, if the server is not up and running. Second one. Third one, if the server is not enabled for the remote connections. Third one. Fourth one, if you give the wrong credentials, okay, you'll get the error. And if anyone is asking, user is not able to connect to the SQL server, how you will troubleshoot, then first ask him what is the error he is getting. Otherwise, you can explain in these four scenarios, user generally will not able to connect. So I'm going to check it accordingly. If services are down, I'm going to open the services.msc. I'll check whether services are up and running or not. I'll also check whether it is enabled for remote connections or not. I'll also check whether instance name is correct or not. I'll also check what error he is getting. If it is a login failure error, I'll check whether his login is having Okay, permissions or not, whether he is using correct username and password or not. So all these things we'll check in case when we are getting any error while connecting to the SQL server. So now the instance name is correct. Okay, so no issues with the instance name. So other option is like maybe in the services side, if they are not running, okay, so generally we cannot connect. So open services.msc and check for this one. Okay, make sure they are in sorted order. Select any service, hit yes. You can see all the services starting with yes. See, they are running or not running, guys? Tell me.
Not running, sir.
Not running, sir.
Not
Running,
running.
right? It is showing running,
SQL
right?
Server MSS.
That is named instance. We are
SQL
Very
trying to
Server.
good.
connect
So which instance it has to run?
default
Which
default
out
instance.
of these
Default
services, see, we can see
instance.
lot of services. Which service is important to connect to the SQL server?
SQL
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 server.
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 Just
Server
SQL
and
Server,
SQL
right?
Server.
This is the main service. Okay, SQL Server in the brackets, you can see instance name. So this is the main service. So if it is not running, SQL Server will not be up and running, and SQL Server will be
So
down, and
here,
the application also will be down. Yes, please.
sorry. Sorry. So batch 59 SQL Server is the named service, right?
Correct, correct.
And it
Named
is
server, named
up and
instance.
running.
It is
And it
up and
is
running. Yeah.
default instance. Okay.
Yes.
So you are checking with
I'm connecting.
default
Yeah,
instance.
I'm trying to connect to
Oh,
default instance. Yeah. Okay. So default instance. So it is not running. Just right click start or click on start. Or you can use command prompt net start MS SQL server also you can use. So in this way you can start the SQL server, and we can, once the service is started, you can see it is still showing starting, right? Just click refresh again. It will show you the running state and all. Okay, so now it is running. So what we can do now, let's go to the SQL Server Management Studio, go to this and again try to connect. Okay, so in this way you can able to connect to the SQL Server, guys. So in case generally you will not face this error, because if the service is down, immediately in the organization immediately will get the alerts. If the service is down, application will be down, guys. Okay, if the application is down, business will be down. So immediately we'll get the error. So somehow some other engineer, either maybe the DBA from different location, someone will be connected and they are going to fix it. Okay, so this is how you have to check in case if you are not able to connect to a SQL server. Yes, Vinay, please.
So alert we have to configure this, or it is through third party already
No, we
configured?
don't. We don't. Generally, that we have to configure. Alerts we have to configure. That will be discussed in the automation and alert configuration classes. Okay, what kind of alerts
Okay.
and all. So I'll tell you. I'll tell you that alert configuration. Don't worry. Right. So now we just connected to the SQL server, guys. So this is how it will be. And again, if you just go and expand the databases, you can see in the last class we discussed these two. I mean, we just discussed about the databases. While discussing the databases, we created these two databases. One is geomart orders and geomart sales, guys. Okay, so now I want to create the table. So to create the table, what I should have generally, I should have a database, right? So the database is created. Okay, now the database is created. So now what we can do, let's create one table. I'll show you how to create the table using GUI and how to create the table using query also. Okay, right? So I guess we also discussed about the SSMS. So what is meant by SSMS? How to download, how to install SSMS. Okay, so all these things are covered in the previous session. So SSMS will be used to connect to the running instances. Okay, and then all our work, DBS work will be there in the SSMS only. So 90% is okay. Our work will be there in the SSMS only. Using SSMS only, we'll do all those things. So what we can do now, let's create the table. Okay, so if I want to create the table using query, let's open a new query window. Okay, how to open a new query window? You can either select the database and click on new query window. This is one option. Or you can right click on the database and you can choose new query window. That is another option. Or select the database and control plus N. I'm doing it now. Control plus N. N means new. Control plus N. So then also you can open a new query window from the particular database. So from the server also you can open the new query window. Okay. So wherever you're opening, okay, you can see the respective database will be there. This is called context. On which database you are running the query. So you'll have multiple databases in the SQL Server. Okay, based on the query, some queries you have to run in one database. For example, I want to create a table. So when I want to create a table, I have to create the table on the respective database. We have two databases here, Geomart orders, Geomart sales, right? Geomart orders, Geomart sales. So if you want to create the table in the Geomart sales, right click and click on new query and you can create the table. Okay. And if you want to create the table in the Geomart orders, right click and you can choose new query. So based on the action that you are doing, based on the activity that you are performing, so you have to make sure that you are doing, okay, the you are executing the queries in the respective database. This is very, very important. For example, suddenly, okay, by mistake you opened a session. This is called a session, one session. This is called one session. Every session will have an ID called session ID. See, this is the ID 62. So why we need this session ID? To track. Okay. For example, if Prashant is connected to SQL Server with his own name and he deleted one object, so that we can easily track using that particular session ID. So who deleted this object? Who is running? What he is running? Since how many hours he is running? Everything we can track using session ID. So every session, see, that is the reason. See, session IDs will be different. You can see here, this is 59, this is 62, this is 63. Total, how many sessions I opened, guys, so far? Total, how many sessions I opened? Three sessions.
Three.
Okay, 59, 62, 63. So using the login that you are using to connect to the SQL Server, if you open any session, so that will show you your name, guys. That will show your name. So we can easily track what and all things that that particular login is doing. Okay, everything we can track it. Now you just opened a session from Geomart order. Later you want to create the table in Geomart sales. So you can change the database from here. Okay, if you select this database from the drop down, so automatically the table or whatever objects you are trying to create or delete or modify, so that particular query will run on that particular database. So this is very, very, very important. Believe me, if you don't consider this before executing the queries, believe me, I know lot of people lost their jobs due to this small mistake. Instead of one database, okay, they deleted the object from another database. Instead of one database, they modified the objects in another database. Okay, so that is completely a big mistake, guys. Of course, in overlook and all, we might miss that one, but still, as I said, clients won't accept small things also, depends upon the client. Okay, so that is the reason whenever you're executing any query, the first thing that you have to see is what? Dash. Tell me, guys, the first thing that you have to see. What you have to see before executing any query?
Database
Table.
Database name, on which database you're executing. On behalf of, imagine if it is a create and all, that's okay, we can manage. Imagine if it is delete statement you are executing, instead of one database, you are deleting the object from another database. It will create a lot of headaches. Okay, production table is deleted means downtime. If production table is deleted means downtime activity. If imagine if the table is 1 TB data, 1 TB table, how much time it will take to create 1 terabyte table? Hours it will take. If the application is down for hours, you might have seen like Shanmukh, what happened? This is small table, right? I deleted, right, unknowingly. This is the impact. Imagine Flipkart database now, some Flipkart and the Amazon database, some freedom sales are going on now. Imagine you deleted the sales table. Imagine you deleted the sales table. Users are not able, like users like us, those who are accessing Flipkart, they are not able to see the price. Or you deleted orders table. Users are not able to see the orders that they placed. Can you imagine the loss, guys, now? It might be a single table for us, but on back end, how critical it is, do you know now? So if the table is big and you deleted the table instead of from one database, you deleted the table, you executed that query in another database. which is a production table. Okay, so until again you create the table, users cannot see the data. So that 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or one day, that will be complete downtime. Imagine if Flipkart is not accessible for one day, how critical it is, how much business is going to lose. So do you think client will accept your action? Immediately will terminate you. It can be a small silly mistake only, but it might leads to the lot of business loss, guys. So that is the reason whenever you're executing anything, whenever you're executing, it can be a select query, it can be an insert query, it can be an update query, it can be a delete query, anything. Always check on which database you're executing. Always keep an eye on which database you're executing. Okay, if you don't check means it might leads to anything. Okay, so now I want to create a table in the geomart orders or geomart sales. Okay, now let's create a small table. What is the statement that we will use? What we want to create, guys? I want to do a create. Okay, create. What I want to create?
Create
Table,
table,
right?
table name.
Yeah, so table, and I want to create which table I want to create? I want to create a sales table. Okay, sales table, table name. So normally now also, whenever you are creating a table, forget about SQL Server. So what and all things you will include, guys? Generally, what is meant by table? What is meant by
Rows
table,
and
guys? Rows and
columns.
columns, right? Rows, of course, will insert the data, but what about the columns? You have to give the column names, right? So
Yeah,
let's add the column names now. Order ID, something like this, order ID. So what kind of in the Excel sheet we are creating? You remember in the beginning of the sessions we created a student table, right? What and all things we tracked under student table? Lot of things we tracked, right? What and all things we tracked? Student ID. ID means what kind of number you are expecting? Student ID.
Yeah.
Student ID means what kind
number.
of number? It
Integer.
can be
Integer.
integer. It can be an
Sure.
integer, or if it is a code kind of thing, a varchar kind of thing. Student fees means what number it is? What is that particular data type?
Money.
Numeric.
Money.
Numeric.
Numeric or money. So
Numeric.
number means definitely you will expect, okay, in this column, this has to be filled for money only. So in the money column, you are not going to give characters, right? Money column means numbers only will come. So that is true. That is expected. So instead of money, instead of numbers, if you are giving characters, that is wrong, right? So you are already defining a column. Correct? If you go to market, you will ask, for example, you want to buy milk. What you will ask, guys? What you will ask? Units, number of units, right? Half liter milk or 1 liter milk, right? So you cannot ask 1 kg milk to 50 grams milk, correct? Because for everything there is a unit. So every column will accept a type of data that is called data type. Order ID means it can be an integer. So every column, whenever you are defining every column, you have to define the type of data that is going to accept. You have to define the type of data that is going to accept. Correct? So that is how every column, initially while creating the table, every column will expect a data type. So beside the column name, you have to add the data type also. So we have different types of data types, guys. We have integer, we have character, we have varchar, we have nvarchar, we have binary, nvarchar, binary max we have. For money, we have money data type, decimal, float, double, okay, and the date and time, place, okay. So these are all different data types we have. I'll show you in the GUI what and all data types we have. I'll show you all all those things. I'll show you guys. Okay. So next, after that order ID, what other column we can add? Sales, right? Product name. Okay. Product name. Product name generally character kind of data. You can either give char or
Yeah.
you can give varchar. Okay.
Varchar.
Varchar. How many characters will be there in your product name? Up to 100. For example, you gave product name, okay, 100. 100 means, for example, product name. Take any product name, guys. Okay. Any product name. Let's go with, tell me any product name, guys. Any
Fat.
product. What is that? Tide.
Started
Okay, let's go with Surf Excel. Okay, Surf, SURF, Excel, EXCEL, Surf Excel. Total how many characters? 9. So up to 100 will take. Are you getting the point, guys? Now you can see sometimes you might have experienced this, guys. Okay, when you are typing your name, if your name is big, it is not going to accept. Correct? If your name is having more than 50 characters or 100 characters, sometimes you'll have very big names, right? So it is not going to accept because they defined up to 50 only it has to take, up to 30 only it has to take. They defined like that. So if your name is more than 30, if your name is more than 50 characters or more than 100 characters, okay, it won't accept. You cannot type more than that particular defined, okay, character length, guys. Okay, product name. So varchar of 100 means up to 100 characters you can give here in this column. Next, cost of the product, right? Tell me, so for cost, what kind of data type we can give?
Money.
Money, okay? Sorry, we can give money for cost, right? And what else we can track? Number of
Quantity.
units, quantity. Okay, very good. Quantity.
can money hold point value also if
Yes,
it is
yes, yes.
okay.
Money itself is like points, right? Yeah. Right. Quantity, maybe
Quantity
integer.
integer.
Integer we can, because number, right? We can go with the integer. Okay, close it, guys. So I just opened the braces. Okay. Of course, when you opened, you have to close this one. Okay. So just closed. So now I'm creating a table. Okay, which is a sales table with the 4 columns: order ID, product name, cost, and quantity. So I'm just creating a simple table. So now I don't know whether this script is right or wrong. Guys, again, don't worry, we don't create these tables like this. Okay, again, this will be designed by developers. They are going to sit together, they are going to discuss, they will check what and all columns they have to create, what should be the data types and all, everything. Just for the idea, okay, how they are going to design and all, just for the idea, we are creating the table. We'll never get any chance to create the tables in general. If anyone is asking us to create the table, right away you can ask them to provide the script. Okay, please provide the script so that we can able to create the tables. You don't decide, okay, the table name, columns, data types, we cannot decide, guys. Yes, please, Raj.
Yeah. So if the scripts throws any kind of error, so do to let them what is the error? Means,
Sorry, I'm not getting.
do we have to give any suggest? Do we have to give any suggestion why the error is coming? If any
If
script is giving error,
which error?
means in their script which developer gave us,
In
right?
case, see, if any
So
data type related errors and all, you can send a screenshot. Hey, we are getting an error while executing this statement.
okay,
Can you kindly check it? Okay. If it is a DB related, say database is not accessible or schema not accessible, in that scenario, developers can't help you, right? That is our duty only. So based on the error that we are going to discuss with the particular developers. If it is a developer related things, we'll check with the developers team. If it is a DB related things, we have to fix that issue.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now I want to verify this statement is right or wrong. Yes, Vinay, please.
So do we create a table in the organization, or we just create the database and it is the responsibility of the
That's
developer?
that's what we discussed. What we discussed, tell me the last 2 lines, you tell me, Vinay, what we discussed.
Yeah, sorry, I've not heard about that.
You have to be, Vinay. We cannot repeat the whole things right again. Almost 2, 3 times I told you we don't create the tables. Okay. In case if they are asking us to create the tables, we have to request them to send the script. Generally, in general, we don't create the tables. We don't get that kind of activity also. But still, if the team is insisting us to create the tables, okay, no problem, we'll create the table. Please forward the script to us. Okay. So once they provided the script, we are going to execute it. As I
But
said,
database we
we are
create, huh? Database we
database we will only create. Database will only create. But the tables developers will be create. They will create. Developers will create the tables. Still, in case if they don't have permissions to create the tables, they might ask our help. So if they are asking us to create the tables, you have to ask them to provide the script. We don't or we cannot take the decision what will be the table name, what will be the columns, and what type of data types and all. So we are not going to take any decision on that. Okay. So we can request the developers, they only will provide all these details.
So normally the developer have permission to create the table, or not normally on their
No,
own?
we'll give the permissions. Okay, based on their respective roles and responsibilities, we'll give the permissions to create the tables. Normally, developers will have the permissions to create the tables in general, but depends upon the project. If it is a banking and all, if they sometimes they might not have the permissions and all. So in that scenario, DBA has to create the table. But again, DBA has to create means we have to create it, not designing. Okay, so designing will be taken care by the developers. They will give you the script, then we will execute the script.
Normally, if we get this script, first we have to test the script in the lower environment and then in the production environment,
Yes.
in case we are asked to create.
Yes, yes. If you have lower environment, if you don't have, you can directly go ahead with the higher environment production. Okay.
But we have to make sure that the table is created in the lower environment first. Then
That's what that doesn't mean every application will have pre-prod and prod. Okay, prod will be there for mandatory. Pre-prod it's not mandatory to have. If it is a less critical application, okay, so people they don't maintain the lower environment, right? So don't expect they will maintain lower environment for every application. No, if it is a small application, as I said, HR applications. HR applications applying leave is a small application. For that, do you think they will again maintain the pre-prod environment? Depends. If it is a IBM company, if it is a Capgemini, if it is a HCL, it was there across the globe. So lakhs of employees are there. They might have. But imagine if it's a small company with thousands of employees or just hundreds of employees are there. Do you think for that also they will maintain lower environment by paying lot of lakhs for the licensing and all? No, right? So lower environment is not mandatory. Lower environment is mandatory for critical applications. If it's less critical applications and all, lower environment is not mandatory. So generally, in general, the process is in case if they are asking us to create any object, first we will create in the lower environment. We'll execute the things. We'll wait for some like maybe 1 or 2 days. We'll see like how they are performing. If everything is good, then we'll do the same thing in the production environment. This is normal process generally. Okay. So now I'm just checking, guys. So we just prepared a query. So now I want to see whether this query is right or wrong. So what we can do, there is a parse button. You can just parse it. So this parse button will tell you whether the query is right or wrong. So in case if the query is wrong, generally you can see there will be an error. Okay. If we see the red line, okay, this is how it will be, but it don't directly tell you the table is wrong. Okay. That the table spelling is wrong. It don't directly tell you. So that for that particular word, you can see before and after also you can see some red lines. Okay, so don't think 4 errors are there here. Only one error is there, which is causing the others also. Okay, creating a problems for the other objects also. So in this way, first thing is in this way you can see in the statement if you see red lines, okay, that might be an error. So maybe that word or the next word you can see there might be an error. Okay, so or else you can even use the parse button also. So unknown object type TABL used in a create, drop or alter statement. It don't tell you, hey, E is missing in the table. Okay, it don't tell you like that. So already Microsoft designed one error for these type of issues. So automatically it will throw that particular error. So this is how it will be. So now what we can do is we can just fix this and we can again, okay, parse it. If it is only a single line, no need to select to execute. Okay, if it is only a single line, or imagine if you have 10 lines, if you want to execute all 10 lines, no need to select the statement, guys. People sometimes they will select and they will execute, not required. If you want to execute all the things in that particular window, in the particular session, you can directly execute it. If you have 10 lines, only 2 lines you want to execute, select those 2 lines and execute it. Okay, if you have 10 line script, out of 10 lines you want to execute only 2 lines or a single line, then select that particular line. If you keep your cursor here, just the beginning of the row, okay, just beginning of the row, the cursor will be converted like this, see, cross cursor kind of thing. Then just click once, the whole line will be selected. Don't use, okay, shift and right arrow like this. Okay, it's not good to do. Imagine if it's a small line, that will be fine. Imagine if it's a big line and you are sharing the screen to your manager and you are selecting like this, it's not good, right? So one thing is you can go to last and hit enter. Now you can use shift plus down arrow, will be selected. That is one thing. Otherwise keep your cursor here in front of the line. Okay, then also the whole line will be selected, guys. Okay, now I just added this minus, right? So that is the reason. Okay, so you have to just like this. Okay, you have to select like this so that the whole line will be selected. So now you can just verify it. Command completed successfully. There is no, I mean, I'm just verifying this is correct or not. Don't think command completed successfully means it's executed. No, it's just parsed. Parsed means it just checked. What parsing will do? What parsing will do, guys? Parsing will
It will
Check
do
the
a
error. Check the error.
Check the
Validates
syntax.
the
syntax
syntax
error.
error.
syntax and
Check the syntax.
semantic errors also. Syntax and semantic errors also. What is meant by semantic error? What is meant by semantic error, Gauri? What is the meaning of semantic error, guys? Roja?
Column is correct or not, and based on the column.
Syntax means if there is an area, any error in the
Sy-
objects. Okay,
Syntax means
that is syntax error.
Keywords.
Keywords or anything. Semantic means then syntax and semantic search. Semantic means, for example, you are inserting one value in the sales table. Insert into table name values. Imagine if say, table itself is not existed,
Oh,
right? If table itself is not existed, that is called semantic errors. Syntax errors means spelling mistakes in the data types and all. Semantic search means whether objects are existed or not. Okay, initially itself it will check whether objects are existed or not. So parts will do syntax and semantic search. Okay, so now I'm creating the object, guys. Okay, how to create the object? You can use Alt plus X to execute. Either you can click on execute one way. Second way, keyboard shortcut Alt plus X or function key. Can you guess the function
Yes.
key?
F5.
You can see here when you keep your cursor here, execute F5. Okay, it is popping up. Okay, so either you can use F5 if you are comfortable, or you can click on execute button, or you can use Alt plus X. I'll be comfortable with Alt X. So I just executed the query. Okay, I just executed the query. So now the table is created. How to verify whether the table is created or not? How we can verify?
check in
check
the
the table
database.
name.
Select a strict from table name.
Check the table.
So in which database we have created this table,
We
guys?
can read the table.
We can read the table. Very good.
Geomart sales.
Very good. We can read the table. So Geomart sales. Expand this Geomart sales and the tables. Expand the tables and you can see here. What is this DBO?
Schema.
Schema.
Logical
Schema.
schema.
Okay, so we didn't provided any schema, right? So as we didn't provided any schema, so that is the reason. Okay, it is showing dbo.sales. In case if you create any table, for example, if you want to create a table on a particular schema, create the schema. Okay, create schema sales. So then create table name, we will give all these values, columns, data types, everything on schema name. If you add on schema name, automatically this table will be created on that particular schema. So in this way you can create the table on a particular schema, guys. Now you can see dbo.sales. So if you expand this, you can still expand this. You can see the columns also. What and all columns are there? Order ID, product name, cost, quantity. If any keys are there, like we have primary keys, unique keys and all, it will be there. And you can see indexes, statistics and all. Slowly you will get to know what is meant by index, what is meant by statistics, what is the role of these indexes and statistics, okay, in terms of pulling the data. Okay, so all these things will be discussed in the performance tuning, guys. Now the table got created. In case if you don't see the table here, what you have to do? You created the table, but you are not able to see the table here. What you have to do?
Refresh.
Whenever you are doing anything,
Refresh.
Whenever you are doing anything, always select the instance, just refresh it. Then only you can see the new things and all. Okay? Always. In the beginning of the sessions, generally, people will create the table. They don't see the table. They will do a lot of troubleshooting, but they don't do refresh. The simple solution is refresh. For that, from morning to evening, they will sit. Okay, I created the table, but not able to see the table. They will Google it. Of course, Google will give you a lot of things, right? Then you will just go behind those troubleshooting steps and all. You'll forget to refresh. Okay. Whenever anything you are doing, any new change, small or big, anything, generally it will be refreshed. Sometimes it will not refresh, sometimes it will not show and all. Then immediately try to refresh the instance. Okay, always refresh the instance to see the new changes and all. Whole instance. If you want to refresh database, only database changes you can see. Okay, if you refresh the whole instance, the whole server level changes. In case if someone created some other objects and all, you can see those objects immediately after refreshing, guys. Okay. So this is how you have to create the table. Now, okay, now I want to insert the records. So someone said how to see the table, how to validate whether table is created or not. Okay, either we can just check it from the database or we can also read the table. How to read the table, guys?
Select.
Select query.
To read the
Select
table,
from
we'll use select query. Okay, select means read. Create means to create the new objects and all. Select. What you want to select? I want to see all the columns. All means what? Star.
Star.
Star will represent all. Okay, in the SQL, T-SQL, whatever things that we are writing. What is this language, guys? What is this language?
SQL.
Structure
T-SQL.
query language. Structure query.
Yes. See, now I'll tell you one thing. Remember. So you know, right? Sanskrit is the mother of Indian languages. Sanskrit or which language, guys? Mother of Indian languages, right? So Sanskrit, like it will be, it's the mother of the Indian languages, and then from there it was derived. Like we have our local languages, regional languages. So Hindi, and we have this Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, whatever it is, like particular languages will be derived from that particular language. So Sanskrit is the base language, right? In the same way, SQL is the base language. Remember, SQL is the base language to talk to the databases. A database can be SQL database, MS SQL. It can be an Oracle. It can be MySQL. It can be NoSQL. It can be Mongo. It can be PostgreSQL. So it can be anything, right? So SQL is the mother of the languages, guys. So, but every database software will have its own flavor. Microsoft SQL Server will use T-SQL, Transact SQL. From Sanskrit, how we have regional languages, in the same way, SQL is the base language. Don't think SQL means only it belongs to Microsoft. SQL is the base language. From that, Microsoft derived its own language, T-SQL. In the Oracle, again, it designed its own flavor called Dash. Oracle, which language they will use?
PLSQL.
PLSQL. PLSQL. Okay, PLSQL. Like that, from Sanskrit, from SQL language, T-SQL, PLSQL, JetSQL, JetSQL. So like that, different flavors as per their requirements they designed. Okay, guys. So now the queries that we are writing in MS SQL Server, in which language we are writing, guys?
T-SQL.
T-SQL. So in the job roles and
Yes.
responsibilities, you can see T-SQL, proficiency in T-SQL, like that they will ask. T-SQL means transact SQL that we will use to write the queries in the MS SQL. If you see PLSQL, that will be which role, guys? In the job description, if they are
Oracle.
asking
Oracle.
PLSQL, Oracle role. Okay, Oracle role. In every database, the responsibilities will be same, like backups will be there in every database, installations will be there in every database, restores will be there, permissions will be there, performance tuning will be there. So even if you go and check the Oracle DBA roles and responsibilities, also the same things will be there. So don't get confused here. In every database, all these things will be there. But if they are asking about Microsoft SQL Server, T-SQL and all, those roles belongs to us. If they are asking PLSQL and all, it belongs to Oracle. Okay, so this is how you have to identify. So select star. Star represents all the columns in the T-SQL language. I want to read all the columns. So I will mention star. Star. Then if I want to call you, I have to give your name, right? From from table. What is the table name?
Table name.
Sales.
Sales.
So I have to give sales or dbo.sales I have to give. Tell me, guys.
Both will work.
Sales.
Dot six.
Sales.
Both will work.
Both will work.
If you haven't give any schema, then you can give DBO, then it will work.
Okay. So if it is a default schema, you can directly give the table name. No need to give the schema name. Okay. Listen carefully. If it is a default schema, no need to give the schema name. By default, it will take the DBO schema only. If it is a custom schema, you have to give the schema name also. Otherwise, it will not give you the data. Okay. DBO schema, no need to provide the schema name. By default, it will take. But if it is a custom schema and all, then you have to provide the schema name also. So sometimes if you are not getting the data, okay, it can be an issue with the schema name also. If you don't provide the schema name also, then also you will get the error, guys. So now select this statement. So in this scenario, now there are two lines. If I blindly execute, what will happen? Tell me, guys. Are those two lines will be executed, or what will happen? If I execute now directly, what will happen?
Error.
Both line will give error, so select the second
What
line.
error you will get it?
Because
Table is already created.
Let me execute now, okay? What we are getting? Okay, so let me add go here. Okay, now you see. Okay, so now if you see here, initially you got the this one, see, results. Okay, so go will give you the link, guys. Okay, the link, it will connect the link between two lines. If there is no go, what will happen?
Both line will be executed separately.
Right.
it will execute first line and
It will be stopped.
I mean
If
that
any
is
error is
already
there, it will
created,
be stopped.
it will stop.
Okay, if you give go, it will be executed. The first line it will execute. First line how error will be there, and then it will go to the next line, next line. So go is a command that will give you the link between two lines. If it is different, that doesn't mean for every line you have to give go, go, go. For example, if table create table statement is like 20 lines, don't think that for every line I have to give go. That is a single statement. This is a single statement. To link between these two single statements, I have to give go. Now, is it clear? Sometimes in the T-SQL scripts, you can see go. Go means let's continue. Okay. Even though we have error, it will continue, guys. So this is how it will manage. So now let's select this only, and I'm executing now, and you can see the table, guys. Okay. Order ID, product name, cost, and quantity. As of now, just an empty table, nothing created, guys, nothing inserted so far. Okay. So that is the reason you can see just table name with columns. You don't see anything. So now let's insert some values, guys, here in this table. Okay. Insert into, if I want to insert some values, I have to create a statement, insert statement. So insert, what you want to insert into, I want to insert values. Okay, in which table, sorry, insert into, in which table you want to insert? Sales table. What you want to insert?
Sales.
Values I want to insert. Okay, insert into, where I want to insert? Table name. What I want to insert? Values, and then open the brackets. Order ID, something like this. Okay, comma, product name. Tell me the product name. Remember, character type of data you have to include strings. This is called a string. Okay, single quote you have to give because it's a string. Character type of data, your name is a string, your address is a string. Character type of data, everything is a string only, guys. Okay, so all the character type of data you have to include between two single quotes. Okay, product name. Tell me product name, any product name.
Perfume.
What is it?
Perfume.
Perfume. Okay. Perfume. Okay, perfume. Comma, cost. Next is cost, right? I cannot mismatch it. Okay, next column is cost only. Here I cannot give you number of quantity and all, and then the next column cannot be a cost. Now you can give, but both are numbers only, right? No issues. Okay. So now cost is imagine 500 rupees. Okay. And a quantity around imagine 10 items. Okay. Now I just completed all four values, right? Close this one. Until you close, see one error is following you. You can see here. Okay. So just close it. That error will be gone automatically. So now you are inserting one value here, one record here. This is called one record. Okay. Now let me control C, copy it, and let me enter control V, control V, control V, control V. Let's insert some 5 records. Okay. Uh, six records. Let's insert. Okay. So something like this: 7, 8, 9, 60. Tell me guys, anything. Atta. Okay. Something like maybe 450. 2 units. And then next.
Watermelon.
Watermelon. Okay. Watermelon. Okay. Something like this. 200. 2
So
units.
quantity.
Next. Yeah, quantity.
How to mention kg? That means 2 kg, 5 kg.
That's in columns you have to give the column name itself, quantity, kgs, like that. If you give, then automatically it will be. Don't include in every value 2 kgs, 3 kgs. It's not good. Okay. While defining the column itself, if you give quantity, not quantities like that, you can mention. Okay. Kgs, in kgs, like that. If you mention the column name itself, automatically we can see the table. Okay. 2 means 2 kgs, right? 10 means 10 kgs, right? Like that you can plan it. Next item, guys. Tell me, we are using a lot of items, right?
Yeah, potato.
Toothpaste.
Paste, okay. Which paste? Garlic ginger paste, huh?
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste. Okay. Next is like, this is how much price? Okay, let's go with 300. Okay. And this is like 4 units. Okay. Next,
Surf excel.
Surf Excel. Okay. Okay. Imagine that is 500 only. Imagine maybe 3 quantities, 3 units. Next,
So
what? Soaps. Santur soap, huh? Soap. Okay. So let's go with maybe 150 and 2 units. Okay, chalo. Okay. So now let's insert these values, guys. Okay. I'm going to select. Okay. So I'm just parse it. Okay. I'm going to parse it. We'll see whether everything is good or not, whether we missed any commas or any values we missed, or any brackets we missed. You just check it, parse it first. And then let's insert. Okay. Just execute it. So now you can see how many times you are inserting. Every time for every row, it will show you one row affected, one row affected, one row affected, like that. It will show you. As these are 6 insert statements, you can see 6 times one row affected and all. And at the end, you can see completion time when it was completed and all, you can see. So in this way, you can insert the values. Yes, Raj, please.
Yes, Shubha. So you told us that when we insert or create something, it will temporarily add in. It will temporarily
No,
store
no,
into
no,
the
it will
logical.
not add. It will not add. It will not add. See, let me show you. Okay. Control we already copied, right? Control V. So now imagine I just missed 500. Okay. And copy comma also I missed. Okay. Now see. Alt X. What it is saying?
One column is missing. No? You remove one.
So now your cursor is here, somewhere here. Imagine 500 lines of code. Okay. Double click on the error. It will highlight. Okay. Imagine your cursor, maybe it was somewhere, but you want to see where exactly it was. So you can just double click on it. The particular line will be highlighted. Now, column name or number of supplied values does not match table definition. What is the table definition here? What is the table definition here? It is
5 column
expecting
we
4
have defined.
columns. Okay, it is expecting 4 values, but
columns.
you are giving 3 values. So it is not matching with the table definition. column name or number of supplied values does not match the table definition, it don't, by default, it don't fill it as null. Okay, if you don't want to give, you have to mention it as null. Manually, you have to mention it as null. Don't think it is going to include as null. No. Okay, so it will think that you are doing a mistake, you are not supplying the value. Okay, if you don't want to include any value here, mention manually, you mention null, so that it will not take. Immediately it will show you null here. Okay. Right. So now you just created the table, guys. Now I want to see the table. Okay. Now I want to see the table. So how to read the table, guys? Tell me.
Select
Select
star
Excel
from
from
sales.
table name.
Select star from table name, which is this one, right? I can
Yeah.
execute, right?
Yes.
Gauri, I can execute, right?
No, sir.
End of statement.
End of statement.
No, sir.
No, Roja?
Yeah, we can
You can
validate.
execute, sir. Maybe.
We can execute, right? No issue.
Database.
Let me execute now. What error you are getting?
Yes, sir.
You are executing on
Okay.
orders.
Roja knows the future. Hmm. How,
You
Roja,
have changed the database name.
how you are able to read the future, Roja? No, I didn't change anything.
Okay.
Hmm. Why, guys? Why I'm getting error? Last time we got the output right, 4 columns and all. Why we are not?
Are we in the correct database?
I don't know.
So
Can we check the database name is the correct one?
click on database and just scroll down. Just see whether we have the correct database.
This one, database. Okay.
Database, yeah, click on database. No. Down.
Down. This one.
Yeah.
Not masters.
No.
Say
Master, Gauri.
Yeah.
no, not the master.
Above server object, there's a database. Just click on that one. Above security. No, don't go downward. Yeah.
Okay, this
Just click
one.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, just click here. Now click on this geomod orders.
Orders. Okay.
And click on table.
Okay, tables.
You
So,
have created on
geomod orders. So we are the correct database. Yeah.
So what we have to do before executing query? What we discussed? Everyone is saying,
Have to
okay, we can
select
execute. We can execute.
database.
Huh?
Just select that line. Select
Select
asterisk
the
from sales.
database.
Have you
That-
selected
Database.
that line? Na?
See, that we can do. That's not the matter here. Okay. And what we discussed before executing the query, you know the impact, right? If instead of one database,
Go. So you want to put go between this sales asterisk from and that insert?
what will happen if I put go? What will happen then? Is it going to change the database name?
Continue. No, it won't change. Just that it will not stop
will
by
insert
executing just the
again.
first statement.
I want to
You need to select
highlight
database.
one thing,
Database
guys.
name.
I
First.
want to highlight one thing that you remember
Just comment
while
the below lines.
Vinay, yeah, I'll do that. I just want to highlight one thing again. I'm saying, I told you, right? Instead of one database, if you're executing the queries in another database, what will be the impact we discussed, right? The beginning of the session. Okay, people are going to lose the jobs, terminating. Okay, so for that impact, I wantedly changed the database. So everyone I asked, can I execute select star from sales? Everyone is saying, okay. So you're not looking at the database name?
My question is when you have changed the database. I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
I changed it. I changed it. So sometimes magic will happen. So always you have to remember this, guys. Okay, always you have to remember this. This is very, very important. Again, I'm saying very small thing, very silly thing, but there is a huge impact on that. Whenever you are executing any query, check on which database you are running. Check on which database you are running. Check on which database you are running. It is a select query, no issues, no impact and all. Imagine if it is an insert query or update or delete query. Select query doesn't give you any impact because just you are reading. If it is there, it will show you the answer. If it is not there, it will simply throw you the error like object doesn't exist. or invalid object name. Okay, so always
To
remember.
avoid this situation, can we
We
use
can do, see, there are
we,
options. I am not saying there are no options
okay,
and all.
yeah,
That is a different thing. That also will be covered. Okay, but again, remember these things, guys. It is very, very important. Okay, it can be any, suddenly you might write, okay, a simple statement to delete it. But instead of one database, you executed the query in another database. Okay, maybe query database context also changed that you didn't identify. You simply blindly executed. Okay, so that also you have to remember. Okay, fine. So I just changed the database wantedly, so that is the reason you don't see the output. So I just changed it back to geomart sales. Now you can see the output: order ID, product name, cost, and quantity. Okay, so this is how you can read the table, guys. In case sometimes if the database name like list, now you can see only 6 databases. Imagine 200 databases are there, so changing the database name from this list is really difficult if you have a lot of databases. For that also we have a query. Okay, what is the query we have?
Use
Use
database go.
use database name geomart orders. Okay, and then select it all text. See, it will be changed here. Now if you execute it, you will get the error. Okay, so like that you can.
one more of
Raj,
them.
we can. Yeah, I'll
Can
tell you.
you okay,
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Okay, so use database name. You can simply, in case if you have hundreds of databases where you are feeling difficulty in changing the database, always use this, okay, statement. Use database name, automatically a connection will be opened. Even though you're in another database, a connection will be changed to some other database. Okay, this is one thing. Generally, to avoid these kind of situations, what developers will do is, okay, they are going to write the table name, okay, in detailed table name they are going to write. So it's just a table name as of now we just mentioned, right? So generally the table name will be how it will be, guys. It will be database name
Database
dot schema name
schema
dot
name dot
table name.
table name.
So if you mention like that, no matter in which database you are, it don't create the problem. Okay. Now imagine geomart orders, and when I execute the same query, I'll get the invalid object name. So now what we can do, let's change some structure of name of this table. Okay. Include complete details. For example, if you want to get any parcel delivery, okay, if you want to get any delivery, you are going to give your complete address. Okay, your house number, flat number, building name, street name, area name, pin code, city, state, everything you will include. If you miss anything, you are going to miss that package. In the same way, you can give complete name. How the complete name will be? Database name. What is the database name? Geomart sales. Okay, geomart sales dot schema name, dbo dot scales. Okay, so like that, if you give, no matter you are in which context, you can directly execute it. Sales, right? Okay.
geomart sales? You have done
Okay. So now you can just directly execute it, guys. So no matter you are in which database, see, you are in GMAT orders, but still you are able to get the data. Okay, so developers will give the data like this, guys. Developers will give the table names like this. So if you see like this structure, this is the first part is database name, second part is schema name, third part is table name. Is it clear, guys? So developers generally they will start their script with the database name, use database name, and then while including the table names also to avoid the confusion, they will directly give the complete name of the table, which is database name dot schema name dot sales. Sometimes if it is a default schema, you can give default schema name. Otherwise, if it is a default schema, no need to give the schema name. Keep it dot dot only, so that in between it will SQL Server will understand, okay, this is a default schema. So sometimes some developers will write like this also, then also you'll get the data dot dot. Don't remove one dot. If you remove one dot, it will treat like it is a schema name. Okay, then you will get the error. It will treat this geomart sales as a schema name and sales as a table name. So do we have geomart sales schema name? No,
No.
right? So that is the reason invalid object name geomod sales dot sales like that it is showing. Just add one more dot. When if it is a default schema, no need to mention DBO separately. If it's a default schema, no need to mention DBO separately. You can simply give dot dot so that the in between it will treat it as a default schema and then you will get the output, guys. Yes, Vinay, please.
How we can change the schema name in case
You
some
will give
demand
the
is there? We have to
yeah, that you will give the different name of the schema. What is the schema name? You will give that name. That's it. Instead of DBO, you will give the different name, whatever schema name it is. Imagine if it is a HR schema or it is a sales table, right? Imagine it's a sales schema. Okay, sales dot sales. The schema name you have to give here. That's it. If it's a HR related, for example, the table name is salaries. Schema name is HR. Database name dot HR dot salaries.
the current schema name for this table sales is DBO.
Yes.
Now, suppose there's a request that please change the name of DBO to some other name. How we can
Again,
do
you
it?
have to create the table. That is not possible like this. Okay, downtime activity. If you want to change the schema, again you have to create the table on the particular schema.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so changing the schema is a downtime activity. You have to drop the table from the existing schema and you have to create it in another schema.
and what syntax we have to
That
put
is
in the
not our
create
business.
table?
No, that is not our business. So that will be taken care by the developers. In case if you need it, we can go for the custom scripts. Using the custom scripts, we can do that. Again,
Okay.
guys, don't expect this T-SQL completely. Basics, okay, as a DBA, for you, most of the people, first question they will ask, do we have coding here? I'll straight away I'll tell you there will be no coding here. Basic scripts will be there, basic commands will be there. Okay, so that is the reason. For DBA, how much T-SQL is needed, that only I'll explain. This is not a T-SQL classes. Okay, I don't discuss any kind of T-SQL. I don't go internally what is stored procedure, what is trigger. We don't need it as a DBA. If you want to learn, that's an extra thing that you can try it. Okay, we have different sources and all. But as a DBA, we don't need the coding and like the basics, whatever we're discussing, that is more than enough. Like creating the objects, inserting the values, searching the records based on the where conditions. So those things only I'm going to cover. I don't cover the whole T-SQL, which we don't need it actually. Okay. Yeah. So is it clear, guys? Mentioning the schema name, like pulling the data, how to read the tables, okay? Like how to understand the table name. Is it clear, everyone? Everyone, is it clear, guys? Any questions, doubts so far? Are we good? Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now this is how you can include the table name. So generally sometimes developers will write like this also, database name dot schema name dot table name or database name dot dot table name. So you can see whenever developers are giving the script, okay? So don't blindly execute the script, just go through the script once so that you will get an idea what's going on and all, you will get an idea. Okay, at least you will try to understand the things and all. Okay, so based on that you can just you can execute anyhow, but again while executing, okay, just go through the script each and every line, try to understand. It's like a English language only, you can easily understand. Just go through any script and all, you can easily understand what they are going to do, what it is going to do, what that logic is going to do, how it is going to work and all. Just whenever any developer gave you the script to execute, blindly don't go and execute it. Just sometimes the developers also can do mistakes, right? Just go through it once, you'll get an idea. If you're just going through the scripts itself, you'll get an idea on T-SQL, guys. Yes, Raj, please.
Yeah. So when we run a script of insert statement, so I want to know the when this script will run. So any LSN number will created and it will
See, for select statement,
permanently saved in log file. Then
no, no, no. For select
permanently
statement, no
saved in
LSNs.
database.
No, for select
Mm.
statement, no LSN will be created. For insert, update, delete kind of things, it will create LSN numbers.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we want to see the LSN number, where should we see? If there is any.
You will get to know the things. Okay.
Okay.
I'll show you. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll show you. Guys, are we good? Any questions, doubts so far, please? No? Okay, fine. Take a break, come back after 15 minutes. We'll discuss the other things, guys. Okay, I'll be back in 15 minutes. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions, doubts? No? Are we good? Can we proceed? Okay, fine. Right? So now you know how to create the table, how to insert the values into the table, and how to read the table using GUI. Okay, sorry, using query. So let's check how to filter the records. Okay, how to filter the records based on the condition. For example, now I want to read a specific column. I have 4 columns in the table. I have to read a specific column. How to read the specific column? Okay, if we have 100 columns, I want to read just 2-3 columns from the table. Or I want to see specific records based on a condition. I want to see like, for example, if employee table is there, I want to see all the employees from Hyderabad location, all the employees from Bangalore location, or all the employees from India. Okay, so like that based on the condition. For example, if students table is there, I want to see like those who are drawing or salary employee table, those who are drawing more than 1 lakh per month. I want to see all the employees records. Or I want to see those who are like the maximum number of marks. Okay, highest marks. So whatever condition it can be, based on the query that you are giving, we can get the output. Okay, that is called filtering the records or columns. So now if you use star, okay, we'll get all the columns, guys. Star means all the columns. If we want to read a specific column, how to read it from the table? If I want to read a specific column, how we can do that? Select, read, right? I want to read. Read means how we can read using select query. Select. Now tell me a specific column.
Call that particular column.
Yes.
Select
Okay.
table name.
So you can do one thing. Select. You can just give the table name. What is the table name? Sales table. Okay. Just sales table. Now what you can do now, you just start typing the columns. Automatically you will get the columns now. If you give just a P, automatically it will give you the, why we are getting this one? Product name. Okay, but underscore we don't have, right?
I think you put prompt.
Okay,
You put
product,
prompt.
just type like that. Select. Let me add this from okay. So select like this. Okay, just type the, you can give column name also, no issues. Okay, but instead of typing the whole column, sometimes if it is a small column name, we can just give it. But if it's a big column name and all, maybe there is a chance that spelling mistakes and all will come. So better what we can do, select from table name, you can just give it, and instead of star, you can give the particular column name. And while giving the column name, if you just give P, you can see all the columns starting with P and all like that. So now I just gave product, right? I can see the product name. So you can select the product name and you can just select that particular name from the drop down list and you can execute now. Okay. So what is the error here?
Need to select
Wrong
database.
Database name, sir.
Yes. Okay. Geomart sales dot sales. Geomart sales, right? Database name Geomart sales dot sales. Now you see here. So I have 4 columns in the table, but I can see only 1 column. How that is possible? What about the other 3 columns, guys? What about the other 3 columns? Now, for example, if you are doing shopping,
They will exist, but they just project what you called here.
from where we are getting this data then? Any guess? It should store this value temporarily, right?
Temp.
Correct? See, I have 4 columns in my table. So, but I am calling only a single column. So it is creating a table a single column table it is creating, but where it is creating the single column table? Anyhow, it's not deleting the existing table, it's not modifying the existing table, so it's just deleting a single column, it's just showing projecting a single column, means it's just created one table with a single column. So where it was created? Any idea where it was created? Any guess?
In TempDB.
TempDB, temporary data.
Correct. Okay, so we have system databases which is like a TempDB. TempDB is responsible for the data sorting, processing, everything. Okay, so when you are trying to buy some shirts, maybe in the azure.com, you want to buy some shirts. Okay, so you want to filter it. Okay, when you just select the shirts, you can select the men, then you can select the size, then you can select the color, then you can select the discount, then you can select the range, right? So based on your selection, the shirts are going to be filtered, the objects are going to be filtered. So initially, if you don't select anything, you might can see 1 lakh shirts. When you are applying the filters, it can drop down to 1000 shirts or 100 shirts also based on your selection. But do you think all 1 lakh shirts are deleting in the backend from the table? No. So based on our condition, it is creating a temporary table and then it is pulling the data from the temporary table. Okay guys, so based on your requirements, this is very common that in case if you are applying some filters and all, what will happen? It will create a temporary table in the temp database. So maybe in the evening class, we'll discuss about these system databases, role of each system database. Just I'm highlighting about the temp DB. So based on your condition, now what you are doing, you are just trying to pull a single column from that particular table. So it just created a single column table in the temp DB, and then you are getting these results from the temp DB, guys. Okay, so this is how generally, okay, the data will come. Okay, so now select column name from particular table name. If you want to read two columns, product name, comma,
Comma,
cost,
other column.
cost. Another, if you want to read a cost column, okay, simply you can just give cost. So select product name, comma, cost from table name. You can see those two columns only. So how many columns you want? If you include those column names, that's why here, if you give star, that means all the columns it will pull. If you don't give star, okay, if you just give a particular column name instead of all the columns, if you want to read a particular column, then you can just include that particular column also. So select column name from, okay, select column name or column names from table name. If you give, it will just pull only particular column. So this is how we can filter the columns, guys, cost, comma, quantity also. Okay, select name, cost, quantity. So like that. If you give 4 columns, you can give 4 columns also, but instead of 4 columns, you can simply give star, so that automatically to understand, okay, user is trying to load the whole table, so it is going to load. So this is how it will work, guys. Okay, this is how we can filter the columns. If you want to filter the records, how we can filter the records, guys? How we can filter the records?
Where conditions.
Yes, okay. So we have where class. Using where class or condition, we can filter the records. Generally, DBS we will use sometimes if we want to read internal data and all, not user data, internal data, which is going to help us for our day-to-day tasks like backup information, restore information, sessions information. If you want to read those kind of data also, we will generally use where class, guys. So now I want to read all the products. For example, I want to see the cost of atta. Just want to see the atta record. Okay, then how we can write the query, guys? Just for atta record or perfume, whatever it is. Select, I want to see about a particular record. Means it has to pull all the columns of that record, right? So all the columns means what? Select star from table name, where, okay, where product name is equal to what I have to do now? Ata?
Single quote.
Can I give directly like this?
Single
No.
quote. No.
Okay, so we cannot give as it is a character. We have to, as it is a string. Okay, you have to give in single quotes, and now you can just execute. Okay, so now you can see like this about the Ata record. Shanmukh, why still I am getting these red lines? You said red lines means errors, right? But we are getting the output, right? Why? Any idea why? So now do you think every red line is there? Can we consider it as an error?
Warning.
Lowercase, uppercase. Is that
No,
so?
no, 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 not
No?
lowercase up. No issues. In the T-SQL, you can write in any case.
Okay.
No issues, nothing. There is no, it's not a case sensitive. You know, right? We installed SQL Server with the
Can
case
you show the
insensitive,
window
the
Yeah.
collation settings. So it's a case
Ex-
insensitive. Now tell me.
Shanmukh, you are executing the like
Hmm.
geometry orders.
Correct, very good. See, the thing is, even though I have selected database name, dot schema name, still I am executing this in the geomart order. That doesn't mean it is going to execute on geomart order. Whatever you write here in the query window, it will try to match with the existing objects. As this object is not present in the geomart orders, so that is the reason it is still showing the table name is showing as wrong. I told you, right? Schema errors and what other errors?
Semantic.
Semantic errors.
Syntax and
Syntax and
semantic.
semantic errors. So syntax wise there is no error, but this comes under semantic error because the object is not existed in the geomart orders. So that is the reason. Even though this is correct, but still showing as wrong because it is still taking this as a geomart orders only, but that doesn't mean it is executing on geomart orders. Okay, don't think like that. Now if I change that one, now you can see all the red lines will be gone. Okay, so don't think if any red line is there, there is an error. If that particular error is a semantic error, so if that particular object doesn't present in that particular database, it will show you as an error that doesn't exactly as an error. It's not actually as an error, guys. Okay, so you can just think like that. So now I want to see the details of ATA, like what is the product code, order ID, okay, what is the cost, how many quantities the user ordered. So if I want to see, I can simply mention this as a product name is equal to particular name you can give. So now I want to see, now tell me the query or you do one thing, write one query, just try it in the chart. Don't tell the answer, just try the query in the chart. I want to see all the records, okay, of cost more than 500 rupees. Write the query in the chart. Just try it. We'll see. Just try, guys. Okay, I want to see all the products of cost more than 500. Just try to write the query. Okay, then we'll see whether it is correct or not. Try to send this one direct message instead of group message, guys. Okay.
Cost is greater than 500.
Whatever, just type it in the chart. You just try it, guys. I'm adding assignment for the next class. Okay. Create employee table with name, employee ID, name, location, salary columns. This is the assignment, guys, for the next class. Okay, I'm just adding. Insert 10 records. Okay, filter the records based on the salary, location, and employee ID. Okay. Tips we can do. Create student table. Filter the records based on the marks. Okay, so this is the assignment for the next class. Okay, chalo. Let's check now. Let me check. Kavya, select star from Geomart sales where cost greater than 500. Good. And Roja, okay, cost greater than 500. Vinay, select star from Geomart sales cost greater than 500. And then Raj, okay, greater than 500. Sandhya, okay, select product name. Where cost greater than 500. Sanjay, I don't want the product name, okay? I want to see all the records. Okay, that's fine. That is also good. No issues. That's fine. Raj, Janjirla, okay, cost greater than 500. And Shiva, cost is equal to greater than or equal to 500. And Vaibhav Patil, okay, cost less than Vaibhav, it is showing like less than or equal to.
My bad.
Okay. And Nagesh, okay, good, you tried cost greater than 500, but instead of greater than, you can give greater than symbol, Nagesh, okay, good, good. And Ashish, select star from, okay, cost greater than 500. Okay, Sandhya, okay, fine. And others, Prajna, select star from, okay, where cost greater than 500, good. Nageshwar Reddy, select
आप
star from given sales
बिलीव नहीं
cost.
करोगे बट मैंने मीशो से भी आधे प्राइस में घर का सामान खरीदा।
घर का सामान Adil, select star from Geomart sales where cost greater than 500. Abhishek Kumar, sales where cost greater than or equal to 500. And Yasin, greater than 500. Okay, star from Geomart sales, cost greater than 500. Take star from Geomart sales where cost greater than 500. Okay. Gauri, okay. Yasir, Eric, okay. Ashish, 500 where cost greater than 500. Okay, good guys. Okay, everyone tried good. Okay, so nice. So just added the assignment, same kind of assignment I just added here for employee table and student table. You can try in the evening for the next session. You can try, guys. Okay, so now let's go and check now. So select, I want to read all the columns, right? Star from sales, as we have already changed the database name. You can directly give the table name now. Sales, where you can give either greater than or equal to in case if you want to read, okay, in case if you want to read the records of 500 and greater than 500, okay, greater than and equal to greater than or equal to 500, okay, where what is that, where cost, select table, select star from table name where cost, we have the cost column, right? Same table name, right? I guess Gmart sales only table name, okay, you can see here, okay. So there are actually only two products. One is perfume, cost 500 and equal to In case if I just give only greater than, I don't see any records, guys. Okay, I don't think we have. Okay, so here you can directly from this statement also, you can just execute the part whatever you want. For example, if I want to see the table name again, I can just select this part only. I didn't selected this part, right? So it will not execute. I just selected this and I can execute this so that you can see here. Okay, I think you can see, I don't see any records more than 500. The highest is 500 only. Okay, if you give 200, maybe then you will get multiple records. If you give 500, what will happen? You don't get any records. Actually, we don't have it. We don't have any records greater than 500.
Less than maybe you will get multiple records.
Less than means all the records will get it. Okay, so because all the 500 is the maximum, so all the records we are going to get it. So if you give 200, maybe you will get multiple records, guys. So in this way, so you can filter the record. So now we can see more than 200 we have. Perfume is there, atta is there, paste is there. Okay, and then surf excel is there. So this is how you can manage surf excel and perfume. So if you give that, then or equal to, you will get particular value also in case if any records with particular value also. See 200, earlier you don't see 200, now you can see 200 also. There is one more record which is 150, I guess, that you cannot see here because we are just giving conditionals greater than or equal to. So in this way you can just filter, guys. Okay, so this generally will use where condition. For example, sometimes if we want to see some sessions greater than 50, greater than 100, if I want to see all the sessions greater than 100, if we want to see all the databases, for example, now see to see internal information, for example, to see all the sessions that are running in SQL Server, okay, we have a query, guys. Select star from sys processes. Okay, if I run this query, I can see all the sessions that are running in my SQL Server. Okay, you can see how many sessions are there. Can you just simply tell the count? How many sessions are, how many sessions
61.
are there? You can see 61 records here.
61.
See, 61 records are there. Each record is one session. Each record is one session, like there 61 sessions. See, R records also will be there. See, if you go down, 62, this is R record only, 62, 63, this is R session only. Then 59, this is R session only. See, okay, so when we started the session, at what time we logged in, okay, and last batch, everything, what is the state of the session, all these things again will be discussed, guys. Don't worry. A runnable means currently, just now we executed, right? That is the state. So you can see here. So now I can see 61 sessions. Now out of these 61 sessions, 1 to 50 sessions are background sessions, which will help to SQL Server up and running. 1 to 50 sessions. So those are not user sessions. From 51 onwards, user sessions will be there. So now I want to see all the user sessions. Now tell me the condition, guys. I want to see all the user sessions. Tell me the query now. Where
SPID greater than
SPID
very
less
good,
than
super, less than
less than or equals to.
less than or equals to.
greater than equals to.
User sessions, not in the background sessions.
Okay, greater than 50.
Greater than or equal to 50. If you give, then I can see all the user sessions. Total, how many user sessions are there? Total 7 user sessions. Okay, so this is how, like this, to filter like this, we will use where condition. We don't play with the customer's data, guys. Okay, DBS, as a DBA, we don't see all these things like cost, salary and all. Generally, we don't touch customer's data. Internal data to see, right? So like this kind of scenarios, if you ask Shanmukh what kind of internal data, can you elaborate? So this is just one example. So for that purpose, we'll generally use where condition and also that is why you have to practice where condition. So sometimes there are 200 databases. Imagine I want to see all the databases of the database ID more than 10. So you can simply write the query select star from sister databases where DB ID is greater than or equal to 10 or where DB ID greater than or equal to 200. So I can see that specific database ID or I want to see a specific database. Select star from sister databases where DB ID is equal to 25. So it will push the database of DBID 25. I can see all the details. So for this purpose and all, generally we'll use where condition. Okay, again I'm saying we don't touch the user data in the organization. What users are storing, what kind of data it is. It is none of our business. We are not going to touch any user data. Only thing is we'll use where condition and all for filtering DBA related okay data and all. For that purpose, we have to know like where condition, how to use where condition and all. Yes, Roja, please.
Sir, how did you how did you identify this is user session or this
Yeah,
is
I told you
system?
right, system, see, the session ID is more than 50. All the sessions are user sessions only. Less than 50 background sessions.
But this is
Like it is always like
Any
that
That
or
is
limit to
fixed.
the
Yeah,
user
that is
sessions?
defined already. That is already defined. Okay, that is already
Also,
defined. 1
there is
to 50.
UID column, no?
Yes.
Also, there is a UID column
UID
which
we
says
don't.
user ID.
Yeah, user ID. That is also true. Very good. Okay. And one more thing is like generally what Microsoft defined is up to 50 sessions. Okay, those are all internal sessions which are background sessions. More than 50, those are user sessions. For example, I connected to the SQL server, I am running some queries. You can also connect to the SQL server, you can run some other queries. Kavya can connect to the SQL server, she can run some other queries. So if 100 users are connected and if they are running their own queries and all, I want to see all the sessions of the users, whatever like executed or initiated, then I can simply use this where condition so that I can get the user sessions only. Because background sessions I don't want to touch. We don't do anything with the background sessions. They have to be up and running. So I just want to see all the user sessions. For that purpose, we'll use this condition SPID greater than 50. So this is already defined. The sessions of SPID greater than 50, those are user sessions. Up to 50, those are all background sessions. Yes, Rosa, again, please.
Sir, in query you have written like SPID greater than or equals to 50.
Correct.
So 50 also should come, right?
If it is there, it will come. If it is not there,
Okay.
when we execute this query, 200, if 200 cost is there, it will pull the record with 200. If 200 record is not there, it will not pull, right?
Okay.
The same condition, greater than 500.
Okay, here 50 is not there.
Greater than
Okay, sir.
500. Do we have records of any products of greater than 500? No, up to 500
No.
only we have the product. So that is why it's not showing any results.
Yeah.
Same way here we don't have SPID 50 session. It depends. That doesn't mean okay, it has to be, but it depends. If it is as it is now, it again it
We
was
have,
yeah.
right?
Now we have earlier
Okay.
7 sessions only. Now we have 10 sessions. Background sessions, right? It will come and go. It will come and go like that. It will be.
Oh, okay, sir. Understood.
Yeah. Actually, 50 to 63 total 13 sessions should be there. But if you see here, in between some sessions are not there. Only 10 sessions you can see. So like that, 54,
Yes.
5, 56 is not there, 58 is not there, 60 is not there, 61 is not there. So like that it will be. So sessions will come and go.
Got it, sir.
See now I connected and you can see 62 session. Once my work is completed, I'll close this session, I'll go. So the 62 session will be gone from this sessions list. You don't see that. So like that you can see guys, this is how, but don't worry, this is all internals that will be discussed slowly later. Okay, just to give you the example of where condition, I just used this view. Okay, are we good guys? So if we are good, I'll show you how to create the tables, insert the records
So
using GUI.
is there any scenario that the internal sessions are 45 and after 45
Yes,
the
yes,
user
yes.
session will start?
No, there
Huh?
is no such scenario. Okay, user sessions will start even though only 40 or 30, still it was allocated, those slots are allocated up to 50 slots are allocated to internal sessions only, background sessions
Okay.
only. So any user session should be more than 50 only.
Okay.
Okay, guys, don't ask the questions on sys processes that will be discussed later if you have still. Okay, this is just to discuss only where condition, that's it. Okay, fine. So now let's quickly discuss how to create the tables, insert the whatever we did so far. The same thing we can achieve using GUI also. Now we did using query, right? So let's discuss using GUI quickly. So if I want to create the table in this database, okay, GMart, you can see tables, right? Right click, new table. Okay, so this time I'm going to create orders table. Okay. Orders table. Tell me the column names. Order ID. If you see here, see how many types of data types are there. See, begint, binary, bit, char, date time, offset. Okay, if you go down, decimal, float, geography, geometry, hierarchy, ID, image, int, money, nchar, ntext, numeric, nvarchar max, real, small date time, small int, small money, SQL variant, text, time, timestamp, tiny int, unique identifier, var binary max, varchar max, XML data. So lot of data types are there, like, but for the particular table, what and all data types we need, that only we are going to select it. Order ID, right? So let's go with which data type? Order ID. Numbers generally represent
Integer.
with integer.
Integer.
Remember these basic things. Numbers generally represent with the int, guys. Okay, we don't need all the data types. Numbers basically we can represent with the integer. Character type of data we can represent with the char or varchar, these kind of things. Text related text, date and time related data we can represent with the date time data type is there. Money related data we can represent with the money data type. For example, height related data, can you guess height related data, which data type is suitable? Height related, height,
Float.
which one?
Float.
Noda.
FLOT.
Float. Okay, correct. Okay, so float means will give you points. 165.65 is, imagine that is the height. Okay, or 180 centimeters, 180.2, 180.9. Okay, or 100.5. So like that, if you want to represent points, marks. Okay, for example, marks 22.3, like that. In case points are there, means you can use float. Okay, float type data type will accept the points. So like that, basic data types you can remember, guys. No need to by heart all these data types and all, just basics, that's it. So order ID can be integer. Next,
Customer
name, very good. Generally varchar, right?
Varchar.
Why varchar?
Because character.
String is there, customer name, string.
Okay. So varchar will accept numbers also?
No.
If I want to
It is string. If it is in quotes, it will accept. If it is in quotes, it will accept.
If, for example, from like English countries and all, William 1, William 2, okay, like that will be there, then
just put in the double quotes, it will accept everything. It will take it as string.
Yes. Okay. Customer name. Then what is the other column we can
use? Order date.
Date. Okay. Date. Next. Bill amount.
Product name.
Amount.
Okay. Money. Product name. Very good. Product names or product name. Name. Again, varchar.
Discount.
Discount.
If there is any discount.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Location. So location, everything we can include. Okay. But I'm just creating a small table. So you can directly click on save button and then it will ask you to give the table name. Okay. Orders. Click OK. Now the table is created. Now, if you see here, expand. Okay. You can see the table. If you cannot see the table, what you have to do?
Refresh.
Always you have to refresh. Okay. Now you have to insert the values. How we can insert the values? Right click on the table, edit top 200 rows.
Edit top 200 rows.
Okay, order ID, something like this. Customer name. Okay, customer name Eric. Date. Sometimes it will take YY hyphen MM hyphen. Okay, DD, like that. We don't know. Let's see. We will try it. Okay, 08, right? And then date 02. We don't know, but let's try. Okay, bill amount. Imagine $500. Product name, anything. Okay, maybe some. I'm just randomly I'm giving phone. Okay, right, and then Nagesh. Control C, Control V, something like 30,000, something like TV. And Raj, Control V, and then something like 5,000. Maybe we can go with anything like fan. And Roja, no, Roja, Control V, something like 10,000. Okay, phone. So, right? So now, no need to do anything, just close it. Automatically the data will be saved. Just close it. Done. Okay, so now if I want to read the data using GUI, right click on the table, select top 1000 rows. Okay, can you see, guys? Using GUI, we created the table. Using GUI, we inserted the records. Using GUI only, we just, okay, pull the data. So in this way, you can do using GUI, guys. Query, of course, we discussed it, right? So this is how we'll do it. So which one is easy, GUI or query? Of course, GUI, yeah.
Query, sir.
Okay, are we good, guys, now? So now tell me the select query. If I want to see all the customers who are having the bill amount more than 5,000 or more than 5,000. Tell me the select query. Select.
In the same
Select
query,
star from.
where bill amount is equal to 500. Simple. In the same query.
Same. So if you run
where
the same query, how many records? Imagine if I have 1 lakh records, how many records will get it using this right click?
1,000. 1,000 if there are there where the bill amount is more than 500.
Yeah, if you see here, right click, we are selecting top 1000 rows. So even though you have 1 lakh records, but when you select this option, you can see top 1000 rows only you can see. You cannot see remaining, okay, other records more than 1000. Imagine if you have 1 lakh records, you can see 1000 only, that 99,000 you cannot see because you are saying top 1000 rows. If you want to read all the things, delete this top operator, okay? Simply you can give star. Instead of all these things, simply you can give star. Okay, you can do like this. Where bill amount, where bill amount
equals to greater than.
Okay, greater than or equal to 5,000. All text like this you can pull. Okay, right? So this is how, guys, will be managed, and that's it for now. We'll connect again in the next session, which will be today evening 7 p.m. IST for US people. Tomorrow morning 9:30 EST. Okay. Yeah, I gave you the assignment in the tracker. Just go through that assignment, guys. Try to complete this small assignment only, very simple. Not even 10 minutes also it will take. Okay. Just try to complete this assignment by next class. Right? Are we good? Any questions so far, please?
No questions, sir. Clear.
Thank you, guys. So in the next session, we'll discuss about the system databases, and then don't miss, all the sessions are important now. System databases, then patching and all. This weekend we'll complete the patching, and then next weekend we'll start discussing about the backups, restores and all. Okay. So that is the plan for now. So we'll continue as per the plan, guys. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. We'll continue in the evening 7 p.m. IST. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.